In this tutorial, you will learn about CSS margins. So over here, I have created two files, an HTML file and a CSS file. And I have linked the CSS file in the head section of the HTML file over here. And this is the text that will appear on the browser. So I have created different divisions and paragraphs. And then I have styled them in the CSS file. So over here I have written different margin properties. So what are CSS margins? The CSS margin properties are used to create space around elements outside of any defined borders. So this is how it looks on the browser. I will repeat the definition again. The CSS margin properties are used to create space around elements outside of any defined borders. With CSS, you have full control over the margins. There are properties for setting the margin for each side of an element. So first, I have written margin properties for individual sites. So as you can see over here, I have written margin property for each side, that is for the top, bottom, right and left. I have written margin top, margin bottom, margin right and margin left, and then I have given some values to it. I have also written background color property and border property. This is the border shorthand property, which and the values are for border width property, border style property and border color property. So in the HTML file, I have created one division, and then in the opening tag I have written class as margin, and the value is margin, and this is the division that I have styled in the CSS file. So again, as we always do, first we write the dot and then the name of the class, and then we write all the properties inside the curly braces. So that is how I have styled that division, and this is how it looks in the browser. So as you can see, the values for top, bottom, right and left margins are different. And that is why you can see that the distance of the element from top, right and left and bottom is different. Now this section displays border shorthand property. So instead of writing 4 lines for top, bottom, right and left, you can write it in one single line. So you have to, instead of one value, you have to write 4 values or 3 or 2 or 1 value, but you can write that in one single line. So if the margin property is having 4 values, then the first value is for the top margin, the second value is for the right margin, the third value is for bottom margin, and the fourth value is for left margin. If it is having 3 values, then the first value is for top margin, and the second value is for right and left margin, and the third value is for bottom margin. If the margin property is having only 2 values and the first value is for top and bottom margins, and the second value is for right and left margins, and if it is having only one value, then it is for all the 4 margins, that is top, right, left and bottom. So this is how it looks on the browser. Then it can also have a value called auto. Now let's see what that means. So you can set the margin property to auto to horizontally center the element within its container. The element will then take up the specified width and the remaining space will be split equally between the left and right margins. So that is why the last element over here is placed in the center of the window. That is because of the auto value. And then we have also styled this division with red color and solid border, and the border width is 3 pixels. And the width of the division is 300 pixels. So that is all you need to know about CSS margins. Thank you.